What's good, everybody? It's your boy WC coming at you again for the first time in a long time, so you know I gotta be on time. And surprisingly, I am because it's been a minute since I dropped a video, and today marks a special day. Now, there are a lot of things that I'm really good at. Reviews, I'm kind of but when I gotta go on a rant, I go on a tirade. And personally, right now, I feel like this should be one of those times where I should. But you know what? I'm just gonna be a little humble before I become disrespectful because I'm joining a lot of folks, and honestly, I have a friend. Y'all might remember him, T-Bills. We used to do videos together. We'll have to get back at some point. Me and him had a discussion about what's going on in professional wrestling, namely the return of Vince McMahon at the helm of the WWE. Now, that as we all know, prior to 9-ish months ago, I was not a fan of the WWE product. Then it appeared that the devil was gone. The beast had finally been vanquished. But much like a certain STI that I'm not going to speak on, it ain't never really gone. It always, for some reason, pops back up until the day you die. And like that very STI, Vince McMahon is back in control of the WWE. And I will say this. It takes a lot for me to have the vote of confidence to return to something that I say when I'm done. Don't believe me, once upon a time I got sick from eating Church's chicken, and that Church's chicken used to be delicious, but the one time I had it bad, haven't touched the stuff for 10 years. And only recently, maybe some months ago, did I actually give its actual chicken a try. Not a tender, not a sandwich, but the bone-in leg, breast, and thighs. Meaning that when I'm burned once on something, as I was with the WWE, when Vince decided that he wanted to belittle and try and destroy AEW before it even came out by bringing NXT into the fold when it was fine on its own separate island doing wonderfully. It's terrible. It's sickening. It's saddening. Literally, this run that WWE has been on has been so good that I, myself, was prepared. And I have a belief in starting over when the starting over begins. More or less, I was ready to begin watching WWE again with Cody Rhodes as champion. That's where I wanted my starting place to be. Out of everything that was going on, Vince, when he initially did return, I didn't think that he would be running the show. Then little by little, it's feeding in that he's back, that he's over here appearing at shows, and he has input on certain things like the Roman Reigns thing. And obviously, Brock versus Almost was so fucking Vince. But none of us could have foreseen, one, that he actually managed to sell the WWE. Merging with the UFC. And here's the crazy thing. It makes way more sense than most people would think. Think about it like this. With the UFC, it's connected to the WWE via Brock Lesnar, CM Punk. That's a given. But also Daniel Cormier, who is a massive wrestling fan, was once rumored to possibly be going to the WWE. With the way UFC stars more or less cut promos, it is literally everything that the WWE is as sports entertainment. Not as professional wrestling, mind you, but literally just the entertaining part about it. Now then, it could be a great transition for, I don't know, MMA guys, like guys in the UFC that, maybe they're out of their prime, but they're just not getting anywhere, but they have enough of a buzz or a name to where they want to transition into the world of pro wrestling, which it is possible. We've seen it with guys like Matt Riddle. Brock Lesnar's come back and do it. Bobby Lashley was another one of those in-betweeners. Hell, King Mo in MLW. This is the thing. It makes so much sense that why Invictus would go ahead and say, hey, we might as well just buy the WWE. We got this massive fight property. And as huge as it is, it comes at the destruction of the WWE. My boy T-Bills, God bless his soul, he basically explained to me that I'm mad. I'm mad because I love pro wrestling, but I don't love the WWE. I enjoy its product. I can watch some of his big shows. I don't love WWE. Now then, this man we had a rage session. I'm telling him so much that he needs to go ahead and unleash it so the world can see it. Because he told me I had no right to be upset. Because I don't watch the product for a week-to-week basis. And you know what? For every person that has spent the last 9 months watching WWE, week in, week out, Raw, SmackDown, maybe if you feel like it, get into the NXT. If you're really a super fan or one of the older crowds, you're probably watching Saturday Night Main Event. Well, it's not Saturday Night Main Event, but you watch the main event. And those guys are there. These are the guys that will not leave for anything. They are diehard WWE, and I'm not mad at you. This isn't a dig at you. This is really a situation where I feel for Trips, where I feel for WWE fans in general, for the product, for the talent, the boys and girls in the back, because there are guys that are ready to go because Vince is back. And Vince has such a massive ego that he cannot watch his baby thrive without him. I mean, the Raw this week, the Raw that had Cody won, as I expected, would be the first Raw that I watched probably in a minute. I'm a Cody fan. I'm a massive Cody fan. As a Cody fan, I am fully devastated at what they're doing. Cody needs to go through a redemption arc. Out of any and everybody that's come into the WWE and returned to the WWE, Cody Rhodes is the one person that this shouldn't happen with. This isn't me being a AEW fan, because I could easily be shitting on this all day long, and I will do that tomorrow. Tonight, I'm not. What Vince has done has sullied WWE's reputation. Something that Paul Levesque was doing an amazing job bringing back. A vote of confidence to the fans to show a superior product. Great stories. The women's division needed work, but I can't talk about that because I'm an AEW fan, and I know disappointment with the women's division. I've known that for a long time, so I'm not even going to go there. But this excuse. Now, if you don't know, there is one episode of TNA that is so infamous because it had so little wrestling in its show that I think it was like a total of 6 minutes or something like that. That's how much pro wrestling was on a pro wrestling show. And that was believed to be the worst possible wrestling show in all of wrestling history. In one night, Vince probably might have capped that in 3 hours on Monday Night Raw. The Raw after Mania. It felt so hollow. It felt so disorganized. Nothing seemed to go right. And why? Why couldn't Vince just sell the property, maybe be CEO, but stay out of creative and just be there? You do not keep in with the world of pro wrestling, which is already a problem. When you were the big dog and you had no real competition, then by all means, that's fine. You can do any wacky, smacky, fart on TV storyline you want. That is fine. But in this day and age where we have the options, you do not need WWE. You have AEW. You have New Japan. You have AAA. You have MLW. You have WXW. Because guess what? We have more options now. More than ever. And the fact that you decided that you were going to ruin this, much like how you ruined NXT, it goes to show that until you die, until you are buried 6 feet deep, and then we have to cover you in cement just to make sure you don't try and haunt the place back, that WWE really will not be the pinnacle of pro wrestling ever again until that day. And that's assuming that Triple H doesn't leave. Keep in mind, Triple H has all the resources it takes to decide, you know what, screw this, I will go my own way. He can probably get the investors necessary and have the backstage culture to make his own pro wrestling company, and I promise you, it will be a much bigger threat to AEW than the WWE. And I mean that to say, as far as I'm concerned, AEW and WWE are in two completely different leagues. Why? Because one is sports entertainment. It has tradition and a foundation that AEW is not going to touch and shake, and it never should. But as far as being the top of the pro wrestling world, that is AEW. That is New Japan. That is everything Lucha Libre. That is everything that comes with every style of wrestling in every region. That is pro wrestling, and that is not what Vince McMahon will ever be. To all my brothers and sisters in the WWE, and note that I actually showed enough respect that I didn't call it what I always call it, which is the Fed. No, the WWE. I am sorry for what you must go through. I am sorry that you have to deal with this. And I pray for better times. Friday is going to be a concerning time, and honestly, I will be right here with you, shoulder. I'm not telling you to come over here to watch what I watch. I'm telling you I am here for support as a lover of pro wrestling. It's been your boy W. Shitadoria. Thank you.